is filled more heavily, and there goes Michael Schumacher. And of course that will leapfrog him past 3 cars. The 2 Williams and Massa have retired from this race, so that'll be 3 cars that run and clean the track at least before. That's assuming he finishes the race from here on in.
Into the pit lane comes the Renault of World Championship leader Fernando Alonso for his 2nd stop of the afternoon. Curious because he had a long stop first time round. You can see Pierre de Pasquier there from Michelin just checking out the tyres. As I say, we think it's just a Williams-specific problem. That's another very long stop for Alonso. I wonder if that's fueling him to the finish of the Grand Prix. Certainly hope it is.
And remember the white line. Remember the white line.
Don't cross the white lines. If you cross that white line in the middle, you get a drive-through penalty. Alonso obediently follows instructions. That should, I think, be Alonso fueled through to the end of this Grand Prix. David Coulthard leapfrogged his teammate Christian Klien, as we saw the first round of pit stops. Those two have had a terrific afternoon so far. Haven't had any points for a few Grand Prix now, the Red Bull Racing team. They're going back a couple of Grand Prix since the last time they scored any, and that was the only time they scored for the last 4 races. So it would be very welcome for them if a couple could drop into their lap here this afternoon. Fisichella pits from 3rd place. Long stop for him, like it was for teammate Alonso. This time he does not have a fuel rig failure as he did in his first pit stop. Jenson Button will be pretty close to him when he emerges, I believe. The 2 Red Bull Racings just flashing down the pit straight. So Button is in front of Giancarlo Fisichella. Lap 40 of 58 here in Istanbul. James Allen and Martin Brundle with you. You're riding on board with Kimi Raikkonen, the race leader here, looking for the first ever Turkish Grand Prix victory. If he could get it, it would be his 5th win of this 2005 season. But the news is that his teammate Juan Montoya is the man on the move. That last lap, he did a 1:24.7, which is the fastest lap we've seen ever on this racetrack, given this is the first time we've raced here. Certainly the fastest lap of the weekend so far. And he's hauled the gap into Raikkonen down to 7 seconds. Now, he was playing a tail gunner role not so long ago, keeping Alonso at bay for Raikkonen. Now he seems to be really speeding up. He and Alonso on completely different strategies here this afternoon, and Montoya is pushing very hard indeed, as is Raikkonen, who sets his fastest lap of the Grand Prix so far. We've got debris flying all over the place here. I'm not sure if it's bits of paint or bits of bodywork. I hope it's bits of paint.
As Montoya pits from 2nd place, but use full fuel, try and pass the Toyota. If not, start saving fuel. Looking, Montoya's right front tyre looking a little bit skinny on rubber there, but okay, look at the inside of it, and getting the groove's getting really, really thin with 17 laps to go. And of course Raikkonen we're expecting in anytime soon. This is a fight at the back of the field as the Jordan just about taps the back of the Minardi. And let's see it from another angle, see if he actually did make contact or not. No, just missed him.
Dornbos and Montero.
Remember, Jenson does have that overtake button. He needs to try and overtake Trulli. Fisichella just 12 seconds behind him, and Fisichella doesn't have to stop again.
Yeah, it's absolutely right, Ted. And what's interesting with Jarno Trulli, Martin, is that he was going along in the mid 1 minute 27s for the last few laps. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he does a 1:26.4, 2 laps in succession. So he suddenly put the hammer down. Into the pits comes Jarno Trulli, and that releases Jenson Button now. So these are critical laps for Button in his battle with Jarno Trulli for 4th place here this afternoon.
Very short stop for the Toyota, very, very short stop. So he's quickly back out with just 14 laps to go, with various roles to play. His tyres look pretty good, don't they? The right rear getting a touch thin, but not critical. And I noticed earlier Button's tyres look superb as well. Like he's going to have plenty of meat on them to push in the final stages of the Grand Prix.
Well, Klien has pitted as well in the Red Bull Racing. He was 2 seconds behind teammate David Coulthard. So once again, Coulthard stopping the 2nd of the 2 cars, and I don't think Klien's going to have the opportunity to leapfrog his teammate back again in the 2nd round of stops. Kimi Raikkonen still leading here from Juan Montoya. Alonso 3rd, Button 4th. Critical laps for him now. 5th is Fisichella, 6th Coulthard, 7th Klien, and 8th after that stop is Jarno Trulli. in the last 10 or 15 laps. Where is the Toyota as we look at Button come...
he's got him easy.
He's got him easy, yes. Trulli just passes our commentary position on the start-finish straight. You'll see him in a second. There he is into turn one, and Button's done it. He's up into 4th place.
The big story then, Fisichella just 4.1 ahead of Button. Button has got a chance of P4.
Yeah, he certainly has got a good chance of P4 here this afternoon. Montoya got within 7 seconds of Raikkonen before the pair of them made their pit stops.
So Michael now pits, having passed those 3 cars. He now realises he's 13 laps behind the next runner, who's 16th place, Albers. So he can do no better. He can make up no further places. So save the engine. It's a fresh engine for this afternoon. Do the minimum and take it with as much mileage as you can to Monza. And as I say, at least he runs 4th now in the qualifying at Monza. But you'd think he'd be coming through faster than that, wouldn't you? And this is Sato then, looking at the back of what I thought might be No, that's Kimi Raikkonen. That's the race leader. Sato unlapping himself against Raikkonen, who ran slightly wide. Raikkonen with a 23-second lead, so it doesn't matter too much. But wow, that frightened Raikkonen a bit, didn't it?
A nervous moment then.
Michael, you did all you could to get yourself up the grid for Monza. Decided to come in and retire. It's been a difficult weekend altogether for the team, hasn't it?
Yeah, all weekend long, honestly, we have not been competitive. In the race, it was sort of expected that we probably wouldn't even make it to the points, and then we had been kicked out. Just rejoined the race to make some positions up for the qualifying in Monza, which worked out, so it's okay.
Just talk us through the incident with Mark Webber. That was a case of 2 feisty drivers into one corner. Just wasn't going to go, was it?
Honestly, down the straight, I saw him coming close. He sort of went to the right. Then I started to brake, couldn't see him anymore. Didn't know really where he was. I mean, he wasn't really beside me. Going in the corner, and at some point at mid-corner, I got a bang from the rear. I haven't seen the videos about it, but I would suspect that he wasn't really next to me to take the corner. In his position, I don't think how much sense it made to go for an attack like this, because 1 lap down, you're never going to make up this ground. Normally you just drive for positions, but maybe better watch the videos and then we have a look.
Thanks, Michael.
Well, while Michael Schumacher was talking, as you could see on your screens, Montoya got nerfed up the back by a Jordan under braking. That happened to him when he was on his way to victory in a Williams in his first season in Formula 1. Do you remember? Jos Verstappen did exactly the same thing to him down into Lake Descent Corner in Brazil and punted him off the racetrack. Same thing happens here, but luckily for Montoya, he's able to rejoin. The bad news for him is that now Fernando Alonso is right behind him on the racetrack. Now we're coming up towards the legendary already turn 8, the quadruple apex corner. Here we go, pitch it in 140, apex 1, 2, 150 miles an hour. Montoya's off the track. Montoya has made a mistake. He's gone off the racetrack, and into 2nd place goes Fernando Alonso to take 2 crucial World Championship points back out of Kimi Raikkonen. And I imagine the McLaren team will be head in their hands at that.
Well, we saw him with that skinny right front tire. Just got a little bit high onto the marble, did the sensible thing and just planted it around the outside. But that allowed Alonso through. Look, Alonso's hanging onto the Renault, and so often you can get sucked off into somebody else's mistake if you're not careful. You just follow them through and have an accident in sympathy. But Alonso then kept it on the road. Montoya just didn't have enough right front grip to keep low. And well, that's critical for the World Championship.
His 7th win in 80 Grand Prix starts, his 5th win of the 2005 World Championship. He becomes the first ever winner of the Turkish Grand Prix. A splendid drive by him.
Yeah, but he's not going to be happy when he sees this, when he hears about this. Alonso takes 2nd place, absolutely crucial there. And it'll be interesting to hear why Montoya ran wide. But the McLaren team, that is a bittersweet victory. They had the ability to inflict the maximum damage they're able to on Alonso's World Championship, and it fell apart a lap and a bit from home.
Fisichella holds on to 4th place from Jenson Button. Button not able to get on terms. So that strategy of Pat Simmons to hit the cars early certainly worked for them. Kept Fisichella in front of Jenson Button, who drove fantastically today, but just didn't quite have the leg.